Yeah, I mean, I see a lot of parents today, and sometimes even, I'm not going to go ahead and say others, even me, like you, I am also a parent to two boys. And when I look around, oh, this person's son is going for karate classes, or this person is going for math classes, or spell bee, and all of that. And my son is not going, right? So that inner self of, hey, why is my son, and then those unrealistic expectations start growing up, but and since you're in that early childhood education, want to get your perspective. When do parents really, like, okay, it's building or ensuring that you're thinking for your child's well-being, not today but even in the future, is important, but when do you start turning that knob a little bit harder and harder? Is it right to do it right from day one when the child goes in the first, let's say, preschool, as in your, is a knob should be always
Right.
higher, or should be like, is there a gradual progress to that?
Well, no. So I think the way and the reason why I like early childhood education is for this reason is because um, you know I mean scientifically it's proven now that like 95% of the brain develops in the first 5 years,
Mm-hmm.
and so whatever interventions you can do in the first 5 years, they really set up a child for life, right? And the way we run our programs and our philosophy on this is that children should have a lot of fun in the early years and try out a lot of different things. And for each area of development, we should just stretch them a little bit at all points in time so that they're only slightly out of their comfort zone at all times.
Mm-hmm.
Not completely out of their comfort zone and not completely in their comfort zone, only slightly out, right? And that's what allows them to develop to the maximum extent possible for them. And each child is different, and so the outcomes are going to be different for each child as well. And once you do that, then their ability to do things later on and pick up stuff later on is enhanced that much, right? And so we focus on a bunch of different things. So we do a lot of languages because that's really important for a part of the brain that's got to do with creativity and ability to handle various kind of problems. Because they're trying to process like 2 or 3 languages at the same time. So those parts of the brain get sort of developed and fine-tuned. Sports and physical development and all of those various things, right? Confidence and creativity, all those are really important, and they can be developed at a very early stage. Now, how a child chooses to develop on them further, or how the parents choose, that really depends on the child, right? I mean, children get interested in different things, and they might try different things, and by the time they hit 12 or 13, they sort of know what they want to do and what they don't want to do.
Mm-hmm.
And the interests are much more developed by that stage, and so the kids sort of go into that. But to answer your question, I don't think that there should be any pressure put on the children at a young age at all. I think they should be exposed to a lot of things, and then whatever they're doing, a good teacher at that age should be able to stretch the children lightly so that, or slightly, so that they're developing and trying to maximize how much they can learn.
Hmm. You spoke about the teachers now, specifically,
Mhm.
like you spoke about in the early childhood, that's where the maximum development happens. Uh, and we've seen that, right? Teachers who were there in the early school didn't show up in our grades when we were in the fifth grade, or in
Mhm.
the, let's say, in middle school or high school. Those teachers
Mhm.
didn't show up, and the quality of teachers changed as well and have evolved as the period went by. But in your experience, and specifically at Kiddo, do you see that teachers or educators in that space need to evolve? And more importantly, is there a different breed of people who can manage that young child at a very different
Yeah.
level?
So, I mean, for the second question, absolutely. Teaching or taking care of like children between the ages of 2 and 5 is very different from like the age of 6.
Yeah.
Um, and it requires a different kind of person, right? So you have 2 boys. I don't know how old they are, but
15 and
uh,
15 and 12. Yeah.
Okay, 15 and 12. So yeah, so they're like my kids, 14 and 12 now, right?
Yeah.
But when they were 2 years old and 3 years old, they were very different children, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're not the same, and so obviously the educators have to be very different as well. The children have different needs at that point in time. The way you teach is very different. The way you enable the children to learn is very different, and it requires a very different kind of expertise and personality, right? And that changes as children get older. You get more specialized and so on and so forth. Um, so yes, and they do require different kind of training.
Mm-hmm.
At that age, a lot of it is about care and love and attention, and making sure kids are safe, and their physical needs are being taken care of, and their emotional needs are being taken care of. So there's a lot of that, and a lot of the teaching is blended into that, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
Also, the teachers need to be quite adept, and we train them in this, in you know identifying teaching opportunities
Mm-hmm.
when the children are playing, because children are mostly playing at that age, and they might be playing with certain toys or certain things, and the teachers need to be able to identify a teaching opportunity. So you can have like a 3-year-old trying to stack blocks or make a tower,
Yeah.
and that's essentially a teaching opportunity on maths,
Mm-hmm.
on balance, um, on geometry, on a bunch of different things.
Yeah.
But a teacher needs to be alive to the possibility that, okay, this is a teaching opportunity, and so you don't waste that. And then the children are learning almost organically, right? So there's no set pattern.
I hope you enjoyed this clip from my podcast series called Masters Decoded. The intention of bringing these clips to you is to allow you to understand some key moments of the conversations I've had with my guest. I would recommend and highly encourage you to listen to the entire podcast, which you can find the link to the podcast in the description below. I look forward to you subscribing to my channel and hit the bell icon so that you can be notified of all the future clips which we keep releasing every week on this channel.